Hello, Trailblazers! Welcome back to another free training here on Women on the Rise. We are so excited to be here with you today, as per usual. Every single Thursday, if you're new to the group, if you're new to Women on the Rise, we have free trainings every single Thursday so that we can come together, we can align together, we can celebrate together, and we can support each other as we start expanding past our comfort zones and into our wildest dreams, into our life purpose, our mission, the clarity of how powerful we are and the realities that we can create. And that's what we do here at Women on the Rise, is that we are filled with leaders, with women who are inspired to make an impact in the world in some way, some form or fashion. And many times it's about changing the way reality currently is, because it can sort of suck out there. So we're building communities here. We are inspiring each other. We are transforming old beliefs. We're breaking patterns. We're breaking chains that have left us in this state of doubt, self-doubt, sometimes feelings of hopelessness, lack of clarity about like what's really possible for us. But really it's this like feeling lost and knowing that there's something more out there for you. And sometimes we just can't figure out what that is. So first we gain the clarity. We gain the clarity of just how powerful we are, all of the limitations we've been living in, unbeknownst to us, truly. Like, I did not realize how many limiting beliefs I had until I had the perfect, the most inspiring, wonderful, both like mentor, coach, therapist. My therapist started working on me on inner child healing. And being a therapist myself, you would think I would know these things. I was really good at pointing them out for other people, really hard to do for myself. And that's most of us, right? Where we can like really hone in for other people. And then when it comes to us, we're like, crap, what happened? So self-compassion is something that I know I really struggled with. And that's why I wanted to bring it to you guys. And I was so excited. I spit all over the place. That's how excited I am. How juicy this is. I'm so excited to be here with you so that we can really start to live outside of this box that we've been living in. Because guess what? It's suffocating us. It's really cramped in there. It contorts us in ways that we do not want to even admit. Why do you think you have hip pain or shoulder pains or neck pains or whatever kind of pains you have? It's because you have been twisting and contorting and trying to fit into a box that you're not meant to be in. Right? So who's ready to bust out of the box, right? Or however the chains, bust through the chains. One woman was like, she identified it as just like, I've been living in a prison. I have been living in a prison. There are literal like prison bars in front of me, and we are going to, shut that shit down. So that is... I'm getting some notices here that shit is breaking down on my computer. That's fun stuff. Anyway, hopefully everything is good to go because I can't even see the messages. So we're going to keep going. We are ready to, break the chains and really start living our life out loud. That's what we're here for. I want you to put that in the comments, actually. I'm here to live my life out loud. Like, I am here to live it fully. I am here to embrace all parts of me. That is what we do here. We are I am live. Okay, good. Just checking. So that is what we're here to do, right? We're here to live life to our fullest because guess what? Life is really too fucking short. Too short to live by anybody else's standards or any kind of requirements or anything that may be holding us back. There we go. Now I can see. So yeah, I'm here to live my life out loud. That's what we're doing here today. And we're going to do it with compassion. All right. That is what we are shifting into compassion today. And compassion is actually about really being courageous enough. So, why don't we, whether you're watching the replay, whether you're here live, I would love to know what is something that you have done this week that took you outside your comfort zone. I call them courageous actions. I know that I'm not the only one that calls them that. But like, what is it that you did that you're just like, you want to like so celebrate of just like, yes, I pushed past my comfort zone. And I will say, like, yesterday, and it could be anything, right? It could be whether it's following your dream and, submitting that article to a publishing agency, booking a speaking gig, going for that interview, right? Those are some courageous actions that are like aligned with your or your life purpose and with your career, right? Or it could be stepping outside the comfort zone. For me, yesterday, I put on a golf skirt and I went golfing, right, for the first time. We went to the driving range at this at this club that my friend's a part of. And I had asked her, I'm like, can you please teach me? And I stepped outside the car, right? I love dresses. I love long dresses. I don't like short dresses. I never have. Golf dresses and like skirts are short. So I stepped out and I was like, I just need to let you know that I'm so outside my comfort zone. And of course, she is another coach and she is beautiful and amazing. She has written books. Jennifer Ford Berry, shout out to you, who is teaching me how to golf. Where she was like, she gave me the high five. She's like, yes, growth, yes to growth. So when we step outside our comfort zone and we take that courageous action, like that is us growing. So it is going to be like, again, it's like that breaking apart of the like molting. So many different visions come to my head as far as just like what that looks like. But what does that look like for you? So put it in the comments. What's something courageous that you've done that you want to celebrate that we can celebrate with you? Okay. So, and that for us too is about compassion, self-compassion, seeing ourselves clearly, being able to celebrate ourselves is such a loving action. And when we share that with other people and we're in a group where we are celebrating each other, that is powerful, okay? Because many of us were told not to celebrate, not to boast about ourselves, not to toot your own horn, like all of that bull, that is like, it's too narcissistic, and just be humble. And, you can be humble and celebrate yourself. I know that sounds like it's paradoxical, and it is. Life is paradoxical, okay? So just accept that. So let's move into the training, right? Let's move into the 5 truths about self-compassion. This is the stuff that like you were never taught about, like your healing, your growth, and living on purpose. Yes, self-compassion helps us to align with our self-purpose, and I'm going to tie it all together for you today, okay? So when we're looking at self-compassion, what I want to let you know that this truly isn't just about self-care. That's another aspect, right? It's not about bubble baths and nice words or affirmations. Those can all be part of it, but this is something that runs so much deeper, okay? This is about this like fierce, grounded love that reconnects you with who you truly are, okay? Self-compassion is not weak. I want you to know that. I want you to hear it. I want you to feel that. There might be some resistance as I say that. Self-compassion is not weak, right? It is something that is so powerful. It's how you wake up to your authentic self. Self-compassion is how you wake up to your deeper purpose. Because where there is criticism, where the inner critic, like sort of just like lays in our head, it's all of the shoulds, all of the what do I want to say? All of the prescriptions of how we were supposed to live our lives. That's the inner critic. That is harsh. That keeps us down. That keeps us heavy. That keeps us from exploring and expanding. And when we look at self-compassion, and this is what we're going to be going into, it shifts us into this different energy, and it shifts us into this deep, deep knowing, this powerful inner knowing that nobody can shake. Nobody can shake unless you allow them to. Okay? So this is where we really connect with our deeper purpose. Okay? So let's look at this. There's so much. So if you do not know who Kristen Neff is and you are on your self-compassion journey, I would check her out. She has tons of resources. Her website is selfcompassion.org. Like, she has dedicated her life to self-compassion, okay? And knowing that she is out there, I think she more recently wrote a book of radical self-compassion. But for me and my journey, and on so many of the women's journeys that I have had the honor of being on, we have it ingrained in us that self-compassion makes us weak or soft, or even worse, unproductive. I don't know if that's even worse, but like, makes us unproductive. Like, it's not going to move us forward. And what I didn't realize at that time is that my inner critic was actually the real block to my growth and my purpose. Because again, I was so focused on what other people's expectations and what they said was possible for me, or if I messed up in somebody's eyes, like how that, like, my whole worth depended on that. Okay. And this training is to reframe everything you ever thought about self-compassion. This is something that is actually part of my Legacy Foundations program, where we talk about self-compassion and creating, not talk about it, but do it. We remove those internal blocks. We remove all of the, well, first of all, we have to shine a light on some of these truths that I'm going to be talking about, and then we deconstruct them and reconstruct them and reframe them and rewrite the story into the truth, because what we've been told and what we've been telling ourselves is a big lie, is a huge lie. So the first truth that I want to talk about is that self-compassion is not self-indulgent. All right, so that's the truth. Self-compassion is not self-indulgent. Self-compassion is not just like, oh, I'm going to indulge in myself. Like, it's not about, this is a big one, it's not about letting yourself off the hook, because we often have been conditioned, told that, like, we have to be very critical of ourselves in order to get anything done. And actually, tons of research is showing that it's actually the opposite. So we consider it self-indulgent. Like, it's not about letting yourself off the hook. It's about meeting yourself where you are with an understanding so that you can take an aligned action, right? What happens here when we are in this belief system, because I want to paint a picture of, like, I'm not sure if I do have that belief, okay? Let me ask you this. When you fall short, when you don't hit the mark on, maybe it was something that somebody else gave you, like a goal that your boss gave you or something, or maybe it was a goal that you gave yourself. When you fall short of that, do you beat yourself up? Do you, you lazy piece of shit, I can't believe you did this, how stupid of you? Do you name call? Guys, we say some nasty shit to ourselves. Something that one of my clients would always say, and it's actually written over here on this beautiful canvas that I had at one of my retreats, where everybody wrote some of their truths, not just about self-compassion, but just like anchoring into their truth, is be kind to my friend. You're the friend. You're the friend, because we are so damn mean to ourselves. How could I be so stupid? How could I be so naive? I should have my shit together. I should know this. I should be further along. Like, all of these things where we beat ourselves up about, thinking and like believing deep down that this is what's going to shift us into movement, into doing something different. All right, thinking that this is how we improve. So being able to, and think about every single place that you've seen that, right? Every single place that you have recognized. I can't see any. I was trying to look at the chats, but it's not catching up. So I'm just going to turn that off because it's distracting me. So like, think about all of the places that have you believing that I have to be really critical of myself. I have to beat myself up in order to move to that next level. Where did you see that? Where have you heard that? Where has that been reinforced? Maybe in your own, like, oh, well, I was really mean to myself and then I actually did the thing. But that's often when we like do the thing for a short period of time. I'm just going to use the gym, right? Because that was my biggest thing. Or like eating healthy. I know I'm not alone in that, right? Where it's just like, oh man, like, you know better, you're a nutritionist and blah, blah, blah. I'm not a nutritionist, but I'm just saying. Um, and you should know better, thinking like maybe it will for a couple days, right? Maybe it will. But that is not going to hold you. That is why we keep on like reverting back to old patterns and behaviors, is because we beat ourselves up thinking it's going to move us forward, when actually meeting ourselves where we are and being kind to ourselves shifts us so much, not just quicker, but in the long run. This is what it will shift us for the long run. Okay, so that's the first truth that I want to talk about, is that self-compassion is not self-indulgence. The second truth, and anybody like resonate with that, is that like how much you used to beat yourself up, or maybe you still do, or maybe you're doing it right now, right? We know this as women. I think that I know that we're really hard on ourselves, actually. And we don't see ourselves clearly. So anyways, that's a whole nother story for another day. So being able to recognize, like, self-compassion is not self-indulgence. It's actually like a self-reclamation. The second truth is self-criticism. It doesn't actually motivate you, right? This is what I was just talking about with that self-compassion is not self-indulgence. Self-criticism doesn't motivate you. Research shows, and this is what I was saying. So if you want to go into, I went and one of my favorite trainings that I went to was CBCT, is compassion-based cognitive therapy. And this is where I learned all about, and I took this years ago, and it was just so moving and inspirational to me. And they have it started at Emory down in Atlanta. So I know that they still, I mean, it's growing so much, but I heard about all of this research going on around the, self-criticism, and how we always thought, or we were told, that that's what moves us forward, but it actually doesn't. Research shows over and over and over that self-criticism activates the threat response. So think about your cortisol levels going up. Think about fight or flight, right? Think about just like you're scrambling. It keeps you stuck in survival. It does not grow you. You do not move into growth. You're just surviving. Who in here wants to be thriving? Put a yes in the comments, or I want to thrive, or I'm starting to thrive, like wherever you are on your journey. So that's what self-compassion allows, is that it allows us to grow. It gives us permission to be the fallible human that we are, and to know that we are worth moving forward. We are worth that inspired action and moving past our comfort zone. Being stuck is survival. It is self-criticism. Self-compassion is growth. It is thriving. I want to be thriving, right? So to know whether or not you're in this, where it's like the self-criticism, like thinking that it motivates you, when you keep pushing harder and you keep on feeling worse and worse and worse. Well, if I just do this a little bit further, if I just push a little bit harder, if I just do this, if I just do that, and you start breaking down emotionally, spiritually, physically, breaking down, you are being your own worst critic, and it is time to change that, okay? So looking at the third truth, right? Truth number 3 is that self-compassion actually builds resilience. Guys, this is in research. Self-compassion builds resilience, not weakness, right? So when we've been told, oh, you're being so soft on yourself, stop being a pussy. First of all, pussies are very magnificent. I don't know who coined that term. I'm sure it was a man. Uh, Side note, really funny moment. Like, this is the woman that I'm raising, my daughter. She's 17, she'll be 18 this month. And she was putting on button flies. And she was like, these look really, really cute, but like they're such a pain in the ass, right? She's on her period, all that stuff. She would die if she knew I was telling you guys this. And she was like buttoning them up. She's like, I bet a man made these. So of course, me, who I am, I research it. Guess what? A man made button-up jeans. So, anyways, like that just goes to show, like the amount of what do I want to say? I don't even know why I ended up telling you guys that, but it was just like being able to like build this resilience and not a weakness. Like these are things that are ingrained in us. Again, I don't know where that story came in and why I told you it, but we're going to get back to self-compassion, building resilience. Being able to recognize that self-compassion actually increases your ability to bounce back, to try again, to stay grounded under pressure, to be able to like hold space for all of it. We are able to be, like I was saying, this fallible human being, and also really smart and really driven and really alive. It gives us the opportunity to reset, to fail beautifully when we do fail, because again, it's like things are not going to go our way, but being able to keep moving forward rather than stuck, to keep like gently holding space for ourselves. So being able to recognize, like, if you have this belief that it's like we are weak because we are compassionate, we are gentle with ourselves, we can see how we can be both very strong and very gentle with ourselves, right? Like that is strength, that is gentle, that is powerful. If we're not in that space, if we are stuck in this space of just like self-compassion is a weakness, self-love is a weakness, we're going to feel burned out. We're going to feel reactive. We're going to feel easily like just thrown off when things don't go perfectly. So when we can identify and connect and walk into and meet the things that didn't go our way, the things that I was talking about being a thanks, Pilar. I still can't bring it back. Pilar just texted me. She's like, this is what you were talking about. Anyways, the things that men make up, that's what I was talking about. I'm like, I'm sure that term was coined by a man, just like the button fly jeans. So much was created by men. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, that's all shifting. Thanks, Pilar. But when we are able to recognize this, that it's not a weakness, it's actually this connection to ourselves, we can bounce back. We come back, we're like, all right, well, that didn't work. Let's go. What's the next thing? And not in a way that's like this striving, like I gotta prove myself. It's like, all right, dude, I learned something there. That was an opportunity, and let's go. So that is powerful, especially in this group and Women on the Rise, so that we are able to explore, we're able to step past our comfort zones, do those courageous actions, live in our wildest dreams, end really unhealthy relationships. That's courageous, okay? If you're out there like, should I end this should I end this relationship because it's been toxic? Yes, and we know that is something like we can get stuck in like, thinking that we are a failure because we didn't see this sooner and da-da-da-da. But like what we can do is actually meet ourselves with like, oh my gosh, like I can see how this may have served you in the past, but like we're moving on to different things. That's self-compassion right in itself, right there. All right, when we feel that burned out, it is time to be compassionate and to see how critical we are with ourselves. And then the fourth truth is that you can't heal or hear your truth while judging yourself. Let me say that again. You can't heal or hear your truth while you're judging yourself. Do you ever recognize how loud the inner critic is in your head? How loud all the judgments are in your head? Oh my goddess. Like, it is overwhelming sometimes. I literally have to like turn on my music and turn it all the way up when I am stuck in that pattern. Or I get out and I move my body and I dance or I do something, right? I recognize I'm in judgment. I can get curious about it. Where is this coming from? And then I want to shift it. So, compassion, when you're compassionate with yourself, it quiets the noise of the inner critic, and that gives you the space so that you can reconnect with your intuition, with your purpose, right? With your truth. So if you're feeling disconnected from what you really want and you are unsure of your next steps, this might be why. You're judging yourself, you're being so critical of yourself that you cannot hear your truth. Sometimes, and I don't know why this is, it really makes me mad sometimes, but in the beginning, when you're just sifting through some of this of like, what is my purpose? What am I meant to do? How am I meant to live? What is this vision? I know that I'm not happy, but what is it? The truth, your intuition, is the quieter voice. I think it's because we've given so much power to our inner critic that we have just fed it and fed it and fed it and kept on giving it power. And now I know through my work and the work that I do with other women that they have now gotten to the point where their intuition speaks so loudly, right? And it's not this like screaming. Sometimes it can be, right? If your intuition's like, fuck yeah. But it's oftentimes like this like calm, confident, like grounded, sure voice. And that's now louder than your inner critic. Who wants to get to that place? Put a yes in the comments. Right? Who wants to get to the place where their inner critic is actually just a whisper and their intuition is like, yes, we're going in this direction. Yes, we're moving here. Yes, you are the baddest motherfucker this ever lived. Like, however you want your intuition to speak to you. Right? Whatever that is. I think that was like the spiciest I've ever gotten on here. And I'm ever, wow, I don't know where that came from. Anyway, so being able to recognize this, when we actually use self-compassion, we can connect more to our spirit and we are able to see our path clearly. And then the final truth, I told you I was going to take you through this sort of like step process, right? Step-by-step process of like unraveling these lies so that we can look at how does this actually connect to our purpose. Ladies, self-compassion has everything to do with finding and living in your life purpose. There is so much noise to cut through in order to really center into this is my purpose and I am going to live it, right? Those dreams that you have, those were meant for you. So when you stop performing, so when we're looking at this, right? Self-compassion, that's the fifth truth. Self-compassion is the gateway to purpose. It is the gateway to purpose because much of our life is about performing for others, making sure that we look the part that we were told we had to look, that we fit inside the box that we were told we were supposed to fit in, and it makes people really friggin' uncomfortable when we start breaking through that. I'm just gonna tell you that. It makes people really uncomfortable, and that's okay. Actually, that's growth. So with this, it's when you stop performing for others, you start aligning. Purpose is not something that you just achieve. It's something that you remember when you feel safe enough to come home to yourself. When you feel safe enough, and self-compassion creates that emotion regulation. It creates the safety that you've been craving so that you can let go of all of those external lies and expectations, and start coming home to you. You start to remember who the fuck you are. You start to remember how strong you are, how compassionate you are, how loving you are, how fierce you are, how this big vision and big dream was meant for you. And you start believing in that. That's how it's connected to purpose, to life purpose. All right. So if you're craving clarity and meaning in your life, but you're stuck in patterns of providing, of pleasing, of placating, right? These 3 P's, love it. If you're stuck in that, self-compassion is your key, your gateway out of that and into that clarity and into your life purpose. And you start to let go of what other people think and how they're judging you. And you start living in alignment with your truest self, living your life out loud. Okay, so how does that feel? Put a fire in the comments if you are all for that. And I just want to end on just a little tiny shift, a little tiny practice for you. Okay, so first I want you to put your feet on the ground if they're not already. Sit back in your chair if you're in a chair. I want you to align your spine, sit up straight. Okay. And for right now, I just want you to drop into your heart. Drop into this heart center. So you have high heart, you have lower heart. See how it feels in this space. Is it tight? Is it contracted? Is it open? Is it free? Is it light? Is it heavy? Just tune in. We do not give enough space and time for us to tune in from down, like the neck down. Okay? So this is your opportunity to tune in. And with that, I want you to roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then bring your shoulder blades back towards each other and then drop them. Okay? Tuck your chin back ever so slightly. Take a nice deep breath in here. Holding it at the top, dropping the shoulders. I want you to imagine your breath. Yes, it's up here, it's collecting at the top, but I want you to imagine it going down to your heart. And now release it, and I want you to just imagine as you release your breath, it just like clears it all the way down. And you might have to do that a couple times if you have some tightness in your chest. One more time. And now just placing your hands over your heart center, bringing your attention down to your heart. Again, opening it up. Taking a deep breath. And just gently saying, either out loud or to yourself, today and every day, I choose me. Today and every day, I choose love. Today and every day, I know my worth. Taking a nice deep breath in here. And releasing. If you need a little bit more clearing, you can open up the heart with this motion. See how it's sort of jerking back and forth. This is actually a meditation that opens up the heart lock. You don't bring your hands all the way together. You just bring them right to your heart. Dropping your arms. And just leaving you with a gentle prompt. You might want to jot this down, journal it for later if you're in the middle of work. Where in your life are you still trying to be enough? Where in your life are you trying to prove yourself to be enough? Instead of knowing and believing the truth that you already are. That you already are enough. So I want you to take that, maybe just reflect upon it a little bit, and tune into how you're talking to yourself, how you're treating yourself. The one person who is the loudest sometimes and the meanest and always in our head is us. So when we can shine a light on how we're talking to ourselves, we can choose to be nice to your friend, you. Okay? And if this really opens something up for you, I want you to know that you're not alone. This is my journey. This is so many women's journeys. And this is just the beginning, right? And if you're looking for that deeper experience, we have so many amazing, opportunities. We have the Radiant Heart Day Retreat happening in Georgia on July 12th, I believe it is. We have a couple of virtual events coming up. This is truly, like I said, self-compassion is the gateway to your purpose. It's in my Legacy Foundation program. If you want to know more about my foundation program, put program in the comments. We're always looking at the comments, so we would reach out to you and let you know about that. If you want to know more about the Radiant Heart Day Retreat, put Radiant Heart in the comments and we'll send over some information to you. Let us come to you. Let us hold space for you. Let us remind you that you are worth it, that you already are enough, and that you are loved. So, until next time, I'm sending so much light and love, and always remember to rise with purpose, remember to lead with love, and live in your legacy. Sending so much light and love.